Tampa Bay Buccaneers do in this year's draft?
Well, first off, did you see what Tom said today and all the news with him now?
Stupid.
He's definitely
$374
retiring
million.
after this year now, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
100% he is done after this year.
Especially if he's already made a deal with what is it, Fox?
Yeah, it's Fox.
Yeah, if he's already made a deal with it's done. Like, he's definitely done.
He basically took Tony Romo's spot. That's basically what it come down to.
But anyway, so starting with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I thought that their draft was pretty good. It was definitely not the best draft for this division, but all in all, it was a good draft. They added some nice pieces to their team. As we start here with, they didn't even have a first round pick, so they got to pick the first pick of the second round, which they spent on Logan Hall, defensive lineman out of Houston. Which, if you watch the tape on him, he's a really good defensive lineman with a ton of upside, and I think he adds a lot to their defense. So I really like what they did in the second round, also with Luke Godecki out of Central Michigan, too, adding some protection for Tom Brady. Tom Brady's getting old. I mean, let's be real about it. You know, when they added Tristan Wirfs, everybody was like, oh, they're adding him because Tom needs some protection. This is the same thing. He needs protection. You know, the more your 45-year-old quarterback gets hit, the more chances he has of breaking his neck. I mean, it's like, it's kind of rough. So that was their second round. I was pleased with their second round. Looking at their third, I liked as well because they just lost Rojo, right? Where did Rojo go?
I know he visited Kansas City, but I don't think he ultimately signed with Kansas City. I'm not for sure. Like, I can't remember, to be honest with you.
I thought he left, but either way, they needed some running back depth on this team, and they added Rashad White here, running back out of Arizona State, who was a good 3-down back, and I think a guy who come in and fit really nicely with Leonard Fournette. So I really like that the moves that they made. Excuse me, in the first two, I guess, first 3 rounds, their first 3 picks. As for round 4, they got Cade Otton, tight end out of Washington, added to the tight end depth. So really, this draft was really them just padding a lot of holes. They got Cole Kieft later on as well, another tight end. Zion McCollum added to the defense there as well with Andre Anthony, edge out of LSU. And then when we look at the 4th round, I was really impressed with the special teams group for this year. And I think there's a lot of guys who, once again, we mentioned this a bunch, could come in and be a guy for your squad for years to come. And Jake Camarda, punter out of Georgia, was just another one of those guys. He's a guy who will be with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for a long time, unless if he decides to go elsewhere, he'll be in the league for a long time. So they got themselves a good punter here, and they filled a lot of holes. They patched a lot of stuff. So with that being said, their best pick for me was Logan Hall, defensive lineman out of Houston. Like I said, I think he's an instant day one impact guy. When OTAs roll around here, we'll be seeing him a lot. I think he immediately starts on this defensive line next year. And overall, their draft grade for me, I gave him a B, just because they just, they didn't really, do anything crazy to try and get a guy, a first round guy or something like that. So obviously right there, kind of sets him down a little bit, but I will say they padded a lot of holes that they had. They filled the needs that they did need. So I'm giving them a B overall.
Yeah, and when you finished the season 13-4, and the previous year you won the Super Bowl and you returned all 22 starters, like you don't have a lot of holes to fill. So I mean, definitely did well there. And so